Hey, girl queen pussy bosses.
Holy shit, girl queen pussy boss.
Welcome to episode 6.
6. Every time you say the episode number, I'm like, because I just am shocked.
Yeah. I mean, 5 was before this, and now after 5 is
And then
6.
before that was 4.
And then before that was 3.
And then 2.
And then 1. And that was our starter. Now here we are, 6 episodes in deep.
That's what he said.
Huh?
That's
Netflix
what he said.
and chill?
6 in deep.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Oh. Is 6 a lot? Yeah. 6 is a lot.
It's a lot of snow.
3 inches is a lot of snow. But is it enough to pleasure a woman? Or a man? Or anyone? Errands?
The world may never know.
That's going to get so old so quick.
The errands thing?
The errands,
it's already old.
We've mentioned it in so many episodes already.
It's already old.
That's just how the way... Huh? My brain, not computing. My stomach, full.
Paul's like rubbing the
my
fuck
mind
out of his
gone.
face.
My head is itchy, bro. Leave me
He
alone.
looks so distressed. I just realized you're wearing your work hat.
This is my favorite hat.
Have you been wearing it all day?
Yeah, since we went out, yeah.
I was going to say, I don't remember seeing
I didn't wear it
earlier.
this morning because I just rolled out of bed and I said, I don't care enough. Yeah, I like to do this thing where I wake up a half an hour before Breana gets here to record, and then I just kind of do everything on the fly.
Yeah, he kind of moseys about. It's funny because I always aim to get here at 10, and I always wake up at like 8.
Why?
I don't know.
It's so
I have
early.
myself on a thing, though, so I don't like sleeping in a lot because I sleep too much. So I try to make myself get up by 8 or 9 at least.
That's fair.
And the drive here is what, like 45 minutes, I think, from where I live?
Is it that long?
I think so.
How? Yeah, I guess
Not to
that makes
dox
sense.
myself, but I think it's...
I mean, you're not really
45 minutes from
doxing
here.
yourself. People don't technically know where I live.
Some people do.
Yeah, some people know where you live, too. So it works on both ends.
I
babe.
guess.
All right. Anyways, today we have, as always, some great stories to share with you all.
Some spooky things.
I am on my true crime shit today, and Breana will be on her.
Paranormal shit today.
And
Coming
we
at you
love that.
live from Paul's office.
Yeah, it's eventually it'll just be. I want to make like a podcast room.
Me too.
That'd
That's
be
what
nice.
I'm saying. We should do it upstairs. But then you said about the computer, so I don't know how that works.
Yeah, that's the only thing is when it comes to the computer.
Because once we get a whole,
I'm not logging it upstairs.
yeah, once we get a whole space, we can like then start recording videos.
I have
we'll
an
have
idea.
like a visual.
How
aspect of
about
it.
I put the door back on this door frame, and then I kick Andrew out of here, and then Andrew goes upstairs. Because realistically, all of his stuff is work from home, so he just has laptops he has to plug in. That's easier to carry. That sounds like a good idea. He's probably not going to go for it, but I'll try.
I know he's gonna be listening to this. And he's like, "Yeah, all right,
Hey, Vicky, you
yeah,
thought.
fuck you."
But anyways, I am pretty excited about my story today. I can preface this and say it's not going to be nearly as intense.
I was just gonna say that
And
on the car
dark.
ride back because we went to go get Chippy. I said to Paul, I was like, "Is your story gonna make me sad today? Because I'm in such a good mood, and like if you make me sad, then it's just make downhill from there." And he's like, "No, it's not that."
I want to say it's more lighthearted, but I mean, nothing true crime is ever lighthearted because it's true crime for a reason. So there's
Yeah.
obviously bad things that happen, but it's not nearly as hard to swallow as my last couple episodes. Especially, there's no talks about murder of kids and all that stuff. So.
Disembowelment.
Yeah, we don't like disembowelment. That was a lot from... I am still low-key traumatized from that episode.
Which one?
The
Mine?
Allison Botha one.
Oh yeah, me too. Well, you didn't watch it.
So if you haven't heard that, listen back a few. Episode 3.
I think.
Yeah, episode 3, because episode 4 is our Valentine's Day special.
Oh, yeah,
so go
yeah,
back to episode 3, listen to that if you haven't already. If this is your first episode, what are you doing here? Why? I mean, we're glad you're here, but why are you starting on episode 6, you fucking weirdo? Go to episode 1.
Yeah, right. You need to get like eased into us. You
Because
can't
it's...
just,
Yeah.
You're just fucking us raw. Coming in episode
I mean,
6.
if we knew you could fuck us raw, but you gotta get tested first, babe. We gotta go through a whole vet process.
Form? You have to sign a consent form.
I mean, you don't even know us. You didn't even take us out to dinner. You don't know our background. Go back to episode 1. Go back to episode 1. Figure it out. Binge it. Come back here. We'll wait.
Welcome back.
We're back. Anyways.
Dude, reasons like this, I don't fucking know why people actually enjoy listening to us, because what the fuck is this?
quality content.
We're just built different.
Yeah.
You can't see it, but I'm putting my hair behind my ears like Debbie Ryan.
Yeah.
Built different.
It's her favorite thing to do.
Because I'm built different.
Sure, Jan. So, enough of this. I want to get into my story.
That drive put me in a good mood. I was really tired earlier.
Yeah, it's actually really nice out, too, which made it nice. We had the sunroof open. We were jamming to some
Paul had the fucking sunroof, what the fuck, open, and the sun was just beaming in my fucking face, and he was like,
I was giving you a tan. Free tan.
I'm tan enough.
You can give me tanner. So, without further ado, I want to get into my story. I'm done with this.
Oh, yeah. The floor is yours, my dear.
Which have people actually interested in the topic, not just us bitching around.
No. They're here for us, too. You don't listen to this just for the topics. You have to listen to it for the banter, too.
That's true. I do know a lot of people that listen to us, probably mostly just for the banter.
Which is crazy.
I mean, I feel like we could just have a whole podcast where it's just us bantering.
Oh, yeah.
But we would just run out of things to talk about. So that's why we have the true crime, paranormal, conspiracy stories in between.
To, like, ground us.
Yeah, it gives us kind of something to springboard off of. So.
Yeah.
New content every week, which is nice. Every Tuesday, you can find us here at isntthatoddpod cast. Anyways, you probably already knew that.
Why did you say it like that?
I don't know. Why not?
isntthatoddpod cast.
Any hoozle.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So, I mean, to start off the story, I want to give a big thank you to Zach, my best buddy Zach, the one that I actually gave a shout out to when I wasn't supposed to in episode 3.
Hi, Zach.
Remember the vet tech one that I shouted out, Zach? Yeah, same guy. So, he gave me the idea for the story at a really great time because I had no idea what I wanted to talk about.
Wait, you can't say hi to Zach and not say hi to Jocelyn.
Hi, Jocelyn. I know, but he was the one who suggested this, so I had to.
I know, but you shouted him out twice now, and I don't think you've ever said hi to Jocelyn.
I know we aren't doing shout-outs, but we have to do
We aren't doing anything. You're not doing shout-outs.
When you go to our Google Doc on our link tree and give us a story, we're going to shout you out. That's how you get a shout-out. And that's exactly what he did. Oh, I mean, he tagged me on Instagram, but it's the same thing. And he was like, you should talk about this on the podcast. And I was like, you know what? You damn right.
Romeo also sent me something, and the first 10 seconds of it is a TikTok. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, oh, it's a recommendation. Hi, Romeo.
No.
I know, I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
Cut that out. Anyways.
Cut the cameras, dead ass.
Without further ado, picture you and your loved one are both members of the Peace Corps, which I like how I say picture, but you probably would never. Would you ever be in the Peace Corps?
Peace Corps?
Yeah.
It's like mainly based in Africa, isn't it?
They go all over.
I specifically wouldn't go to Africa because I can't do like that heat. It's too fucking hot for me.
What if it was like England? Not that you would ever go to the Peace Corps in England, but unless something weird is happening.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Anyways.
As long as it's not somewhere hot. First world problems, I'm sorry.
Fair enough. You volunteer your time to help out countries abroad and give aid to those who need it most. After a mission together with the Peace Corps, the two of you decide to make a pit stop in Australia to visit, the Great Barrier Reef. You decided it would be fun to scuba dive in the Coral Sea and get a view of the magnificent sea life that lives below the surface. However, little do you know, this would be the last trip you would ever take, and you won't make it back home to the United States.
I know what story you're doing.
Shut up.
I'm gonna shut up.
Just shut up.
I just wanted to say that.
Shut up.
Okay.
I'm not abusive, I swear to God.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said I'm not abusive, I swear to God.
Oh, no, he is.
It's a two-way street, babe. Even though I'm not abusive.
Yeah, my intrusive thoughts, I swear to God, every day. I'm like, I was just going to punch you, and I don't know why, but I didn't.
Yeah, talk about abuse. Anyways, this short synopsis is referring to the story and disappearance of an American married couple, Tom and Eileen Lonergan.
Fuck Tom.
Does his name ring a bell?
Yes.
Annoying. Anyways, I didn't know the story, so it's at least for me.
I can't really say anything because I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts. There's not a lot of stories that I don't know. So
that's fair enough. So Thomas, born December 28th, 1964, and Eileen, born March 3rd, 1969, were from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Tom, being 33 at the time, and Eileen being 28, were described as young, idealists, and in love with each other. The pair met at Louisiana State University, which would also happen to be where they eventually would end up getting married. Eileen was a prominent scuba diver at the time and really loved doing it as a hobby. As any person would do in a relationship, Eileen would try to rope Thomas into her hobby and eventually would get him to take it up as a hobby of his own.
Did you know that SCUBA is an acronym?
Is it? Mm-hmm. For what? You're just going to spring that on me and not have the answer?
I know that A is aerobics.
Huh?
A is aerobics.
You're really going to make me look up what scuba is. Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus.
Apparatus?
So it's definitely not aerobics.
Well, it's still an acronym.
Aerobics? What, are they doing aerobics underneath the fucking water?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what aerobics is.
You just fucking sprung out the word aerobics and hoped it stuck?
Well, I know aerobics is some kind of physical activity, right? And it begins with an A.
Yeah,
right?
it's like exercise.
Yeah, so is scuba diving. What do you mean?
No. Okay.
Oh, you tell me scuba diving is not exercise?
No. So...
Wrong.
The pair were also members of the Peace Corps, and in 1996 would find themselves taking up a 2-year-long volunteer opportunity in the country of Fiji. Would you go to Fiji?
Where is that?
In Fiji.
Wow.
You didn't know that? You don't know where Fiji is?
It's a good thing that Paul reads his notes off of a computer, because every time I have a question, he could just Google it. Because I read off my iPad, and it's not that easy to just Google stuff.
Fiji is to the east of Australia.
Maybe. If they don't have any big bugs. They probably have really big bugs, though.
Do they?
Well, Australia does.
Wait. It is about 1,100 nautical miles northeast of New Zealand. So it's over that area. So nowhere near Africa, like you already said you want to go to because of the heat. So I'd probably go there. The weather doesn't sound good to be that bad.
Oh.
What?
I already know what that is converted to regular miles, and I couldn't remember why I know, but I remember now.
Huh. Maybe you looked at it before.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So on January 25th, 1998, Tom and Eileen would detour to Port Douglas, Australia on their way back to the States. The two of them were off to dive St. Crispin's Reef, which is a diving site in the Great Barrier Reef. Tom and Eileen were ecstatic to get the opportunity to dive into the Great Barrier Reef, and with 26 other passengers, with the help of the diving company Outer Edge, the group embarked on the trip with skipper Jeffrey Nairn. Nairn? Hello? How do you pronounce? I thought that was an M. It's not. It's like Nairn.
I haven't seen you since Nam.
Okay. Which, we'll just call him Jeff. Jeffy boy. Which saw them 25 miles off the coast of Queensland, Australia. An important piece to note, while this is a popular diving spot, the dangers of the water are highlighted with the risk of encountering 5-meter-length sharks, a species that is known to be most likely to attack humans. Just a little side note there.
Sharks are crazy.
Yeah, and they're going into this... I mean, granted, this area is beautiful, and being able to see the sea creatures near the Great Barrier Reef is obviously like almost a once-in-a-lifetime experience, depending where you are. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, going to oceans like that, I don't know if I would risk it.
It always amazes me, though, how, especially people like you who are so like apt to swim with dolphins, but not like go anywhere near sharks.
Well, I mean, granted, all creatures, regardless of... Dolphins
need to be arrested.
Why?
They are the rapists of the sea. Did you not know that?
No.
They be getting other creatures and other like dolphins and stuff like that. They are the bullies of the sea.
I'd rather deal with a bully than deal with a human-eating shark. Honestly.
Well, sometimes it's more likely to be an accident than it's on purpose.
What?
Of a shark eating you because they think that you look like a seal or something.
Are they calling me fat?
No, it's just because they don't have good eyesight. So when they like look up at you,
that's what they always say.
In the water, you look like a seal.
Sure. Once they arrived at their scheduled spot in the waters, the group would excitedly put on their diving gear and jump straight into the coral reef. After a 3-dive session at St. Crispin Reef, the group would emerge back up from the depths, board back on the boat, and relax after a long day's worth of diving. Before pulling away, the boat's crew would conduct a head count of the passengers, and with the all clear given, back towards the mainland they went. Except for 2 divers. Thomas and Eileen, they would rise back up to the surface, greeted with blue skies and clear blue water, but only to suddenly realize they have no boat in front of them or behind them, and they are suddenly nothing but human buoys in the water. Mind you, these are shark-infested waters.
Maybe I don't know what story you're doing.
What did you think I was doing?
Insurance money?
No. Maybe there is a snippet. Well, yeah.
Maybe I don't know what you're doing.
We'll circle back at the end.
Okay.
2 days later, on January 27th, a bag containing the passports and various belongings of Tom and Eileen would be found on the dive boat. This would be the first time anyone noticed the pair was missing.
No, that's fucked up.
2 days went by, and nobody knew.
Well, you think they would do a head count when you got back on.
They did. And the all clear was given.
Oh, so they just didn't give a fuck. That person did not give a fuck.
Clearly.
They said, babe, I'm just here for a check.
Or they somehow
and I was gonna
counted two people twice.
And that's on period.
That's on period. With this discovery, a widespread air and sea search was quickly organized with help from all aspects like the Navy, all the way down to just regular old civilian volunteers looking to help in the search. As one would expect, with 2 days in between the premature boat departure and the discovery that the two are missing, the search came up cold and empty. If human body and science is to help, we all know they would have at least survived a day, but without fresh water and baking in that summer heat, let alone exhaustion from trying to stay afloat, they would eventually succumb to the ocean and potentially whatever may be lurking in it.
I feel like that would drive me insane.
What?
Being so thirsty and surrounded by so much water.
And you can't
and
drink
knowing
it
that if I drink it,
thirstier?
yeah, like that would drive me insane.
Mm-hmm.
I would drown myself, 100%.
I still wouldn't. I would just go find a shark. Make
That's
yourself
very
look like
gruesome,
a seal.
though.
I would rather be eaten by the shark and hope to get out of it quickly than to drown myself.
I don't think getting eaten by a shark is going to
Having almost personally drowned myself, I don't want to go through that.
Oh, yeah. So maybe it's, you probably just have like a phobia of it.
Because that is like a whole...
Yeah.
It's so unexplainable how almost helpless and it's just, I would never...
But I feel like that's the same way for the shark. You're just completely helpless.
Depending on where he eats you first.
There's no way to get away.
I would just turn my head into his mouth and just say, chomp, babe.
But who's to say you die right away?
If I have no head, if he just chomps my head off.
Well, who said he's going to rip your head off right away?
I'm just going to float myself into his mouth head first.
You're not getting what I'm saying. You can put your head in his mouth and he can chomp. But what if he chomps and your head is still connected and you're just there, but your head just has a big...
Just keep chomping. Real quick.
That doesn't sound quick. That sounds very gruesome. And you say, I need therapy.
I never said I didn't. So,
oh, God.
No clues or evidence of the pair would wash ashore or be uncovered until a month later. In February, a wetsuit that would happen to be an Eileen's size washed up on the northern Queensland shore. The wetsuit would have tears on the bottom and armpit, which, when examined by experts, concluded it could be from the coral and nothing malicious. It wouldn't be until a few years later that the online news site The Guardian would report that the scientists that studied the wetsuit had worked out that the barnacle growth on the zipper would suggest that the suit was lost on January 26th, which, yes, would be 1 day following the initial diving trip and correlates with how long they would have presumed to have lived.
For the record, this is not the story I thought you were doing.
Nice.
So I don't know the story.
I feel better. I was like, God, I have to go through all of this and she already knows what happened.
No, I thought it was something else.
Great. Over the next few weeks following the wetsuit discovery, the couple's dive jackets, tanks, and even one of Eileen's fins would wash up on shore. The craziest part of it all, none of the objects that washed up would go on to show or support the idea that their lives came to a violent end. Because
so
did I mention shark-infested waters?
Yes, what does that mean?
So it means a lot of their gear washed up on shore, but there was no evidence that any sort of sea creature like a shark or anything like that.
But how did her wetsuit wash up into her body? She's butt naked nasty in the water?
Yeah. There is a theory of what she could have done. So there are a couple theories at the end that I talk about that could have happened to him. No, it's okay.
Jumping the gun.
It's all right. It's all right, mate. I don't know why I want to do that accent.
That was One Direction for you.
Fast forward a few more months, and another piece of evidence would wash up on shore. Found by a fisherman on the open waters was a dive slate 160 kilometers away that read, Monday, January 26, 1998, 8 a.m. To anyone who can help us. We have been abandoned on Court Reef by MV Outer Edge. 25th of January, 98, 3 p.m. Please help us. Come to rescue us before we die. Help.
So 2 things. 1, that's the year I was born.
Mm-hmm.
2, I don't want to say it's funny, because nothing about this is funny, but it's so funny to me that they are writing, like, hurry up and come find us, because, like, they can't read that.
My only... Again, I probably should have looked up what the hell a dive slate is, but, like, how are they able to do this, is my question.
Because, like, if they're just, like, right... Like, yeah, look up what a dive slate is, because I need to know.
A dive slate is an erasable sheet or board, while wet notes are notebooks or waterproof paper. Each can be used with a standard lead pencil, and whatever you write will stay there until you purposely remove it, making a dive slate a handy way to record information underwater.
Yeah, see, that... I mean, I guess they're just writing it just so they have a record of, like, when they were alive until and when they died, but...
Well, they probably...
It's just so weird.
Most likely originally brought it to, like, record what they had for sea creatures and, like, what they saw.
Yeah, I get
and then
that.
they're just like, FYI, wait, I'm actually dying.
But yeah, but that's what I mean, though. Like, writing that stuff is weird. Because, like, I get, like, writing, like, oh, I love XYZ, like...
I mean,
this is what's happening, but, like, just being like, hurry up and find us, like, you're just... I feel like that's very morbid, because you're just writing it, and, like, there's nothing that's going to happen from that.
I mean...
It's not like a phone where you're, like, pinging an SOS or you're texting somebody, like, you're just writing down on a piece of paper, like, hurry up and find me, like...
It's just a last-ditch effort at that point, because
For what, though, is my point?
Because you obviously know you're going to die, but it's just like, if this, by chance, floats to some boat that's over there that can't see us...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, okay.
What did you think?
I thought that it was, like, on their person.
No. Like,
it was, like,
a fisherman found this 160 kilometers from... Yeah.
Okay, I misunderstood. I was getting real angry for a
That's
second.
why I was like, what are you so angry about? Like, I would do the same thing.
No, I thought it was just a dead body floating in the water with a notebook that said, hurry up and find me. Like, I was like, oh, look...
They wrote a note that said, yeah, please help me, and then put it back in their pocket.
That's what I thought they did. That's why I was like, that's very morbid. Like, why are you doing
That's why I was like, I need to figure out where you're so angry about this, because this shouldn't be an area of anger at all.
You just kept like looking at me like I was wrong. I was like...
There seems to be a theme we do, because what was this?
Oh, it was the earthquake thing when there's like faking earthquakes. And I was like, how do you fake an earthquake? And we misunderstood what we both meant.
Yeah.
Because I meant, what I thought they were doing for the faking earthquakes was I thought there was nothing happening and they're like, oh, it's an earthquake. And I was like, how do you do that? Like, people are going to be like, oh, no, it didn't happen.
Yeah, but
you thought I was like, what technology are they using to fake earthquakes?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I thought you were just saying, what kind of technology? And I was like, I don't fucking, like, they didn't specify.
No, I was literally just being
technology.
Like, how do you fake an earthquake? Like,
yeah. If you haven't heard that, go watch it, episode 3. Bunch of vibrators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is that the...
Yeah. Anyways, in today's time, even after all the items were washed up and found, Tom and Eileen would unfortunately never be recovered or found, and their whereabouts and what happened to them are just about as much of a mystery today than it was in years past. Conspiracy theorists, of course, are going to do what they do and have come up with a wide range of possibilities. The most prominent would follow the pair purposely doing this to fake their own death, although their bank accounts and even life insurance policies would never be touched or claimed in the coming months and years.
Well, of course they wouldn't be. If you're trying to, like, fake your own death, you can't just claim your own life insurance policy.
I know, but that goes back to some people just being dense and just doing stupid things. That's like what we talked about in, episode 5, where people would kill their significant other and then claim their life insurance money after they just brought up the policy. So it's just like, obviously you're the one who killed them, because so people just don't think some things through. So this theory is more so they want to fake their own deaths, make sure people think they're dead, and then just take their own money and run to whatever country.
Yeah, but I don't agree with that line of thought, because if you fake your own death, it's different if like one person's faked their own death and then like the partner takes the insurance policy and then like meets up with them. That's different. But when they both do it, they're both presumed dead and there's no one to claim your life insurance policy. So
no, I get it.
I just think it's stupid. Anyway.
I get it. Additionally, they were even looked at to have done a murder-suicide or even a suicide pact together. This theory holds a little more potential for more truth, given Thomas and Eileen both had kept personal journals, which were discovered with the rest of their belongings at their hostel that they were staying at. The contents inside of the journal were quite disturbing and painted quite an eerie picture around the couple. One excerpt from Thomas's journal read, quote, "Like a student who has finished an exam, I feel that my life is complete and I am ready to die. As far as I can tell, from here, my life can only get worse. It has peaked and it's all downhill from here until my funeral." This was a passage written only 6 months before the diving expedition. And looking at Eileen's journal, an entry dated January 9th of 1998, which is merely weeks before this trip, would go on to read, quote, "Tom hopes to die a quick and painless death, and he hopes it happens soon. Tom's not suicidal, but he's got a death wish that could lead him to what he desires, and I could get caught in that." So, I know we said the first one was very unlikely with the life insurance faking their own death, but I don't know, man.
I feel like in that terms, it seems like it'd be more of a murder-suicide.
Because in my head, I'm like, how would this happen? I mean, obviously, there's negligence of the boat crew because they did a head count and somehow miscounted and assumed they were on the boat somehow.
Also, too, with this theory, how does that work then?
I was going to say, unless Thomas was just like, this is a great way to do it, no one will ever find us, he could have potentially just like kept her underwater longer and just been like, hey, let's go look at this. Even if she knew better, she'd be like, okay. And then him knowing it could take up time, enough time for the boat to go away, and just be like, oh, let's go look, over here, and then just keep her underwater somehow. So by the time they came back up, the boat would be gone. Yeah,
but the boat is just sheer luck. Them not them doing their proper head count.
Yeah, that's the bad part in this case. Is there's, regardless if that was like Thomas's intention or anything like that, it still falls on boat crew because they.
Can I just say
all that up?
I would never go scuba diving.
I have.
I would never.
Sort of. We didn't do anything extravagant with like the whole tanks and stuff, but when we went to Mexico, we went to an island. I forget the name of it off the top of my head, but part of it was like a little scuba thing. So we got like the plastic things that stay above water, and that's how you breathe. Yeah, the snorkel. Thank you. We got a snorkel and just goggles, and we just looked at the stuff underwater. We didn't go like deep down or anything like that.
For me, I would never do it because I think you've learned this in our friendship. I'm a control freak, so I really don't like things like that because I feel completely out of control. You're just in the ocean. Anything can go wrong.
Yeah, and can I tell you? So I couldn't figure out the snorkel at all. Like my anxiety trying to breathe through that was going through the roof. So I just, got some air and then went down and called it a day. And I was like, oh my God, it would be so much fun if I go down further. The fucking pressure in my ears hurt like a bitch. I couldn't do it. That's why you have to. There was only so far I could go.
And then when you have the suit on, if you go past a certain depth, you have to like pause on your way up or else you get the bends.
You get the what?
I think it's called the bends when you get the bubbles in your brain.
Huh?
If you come up fast enough.
You get bubbles in your brain?
I feel like I'm wrong. Hold on. Now I have to look at
Is this like our thing, Googling shit on the fly while we're in the middle of the
it works out for people who are like, wait,
That's true. That is crazy.
Yeah, decompression sickness. It's when, hold on, sorry. So, according to Google, decompression sickness can happen after scuba diving. The symptoms include joint pain, vertigo, numbness. If you dive, you can lower your risk of getting decompression sickness by slowly rising to the surface after you dive. You must wait between 12 to 48 hours to fly after diving, or else you can get it too. But it's basically just like the depth you're going at, because what you're talking about, the pressure. So, like, you go down, and then, like, it's just like the pressure, I guess. I don't know. But when you come up, you get these little bubbles in your brain. And if you come up too fast, you can, like, just get really sick. You can get decompression sickness. But they call it the bends.
Maybe that could explain why my ears were all fucked up when I came home. If you want to
know how I know what that is, it's from the movie 47 Meters, I think it is.
Sure.
That diving movie.
Okay.
It's a good movie. You should watch it. Okay.
I believe you. I have nothing to go against it. Anyways, equally in their journals, both spoke about not enjoying their jobs, and Eileen spoke about how, quote, our lives are so entwined now, we are hardly two individuals. Where we are now goes beyond dependence, beyond love. Although after investigations, it would be ruled that the American couple perished at sea due to a tragic accident following a mistake during the head count on board their dive boat. The coroner on the case found that the couple died either from exposure, drowning, or a shark attack, which is strange because we had just determined earlier that none of the belongings that washed up gave evidence of that. So if they were attacked by a shark, you would assume something that washed up on shore would have bite marks in it, would be torn to shreds,
bloody,
like that
if
sort
anything.
of. Yeah, exactly. And none of that was. So I'm like, where do you get the idea that they had a shark attack?
Maybe it was aliens.
Maybe. With this determination, the boat skipper, Jeffrey, whatever the hell his last name is, I'm so sorry. I'm not going to try again. Nairn, however you want to pronounce that.
You just started saying letters, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. But then I realized you were saying...
Jeffrey would be charged with manslaughter in regard to the presumed death of Thomas and Eileen Lonergan. However, through trial, the jury would eventually find him not guilty, but his company, Outer Edge, would go on to plead guilty to negligence and eventually go out of business.
As they should.
The after effects of this tragedy would lead the Queensland government to introduce strict new regulations to the state's dive industry only a year after the disappearance. The regulations included mandatory counts and a lookout who was to remain on the boat at all times during the dive. The story, having caught worldwide attention, would go on to inspire the American survival thriller film Open Water, which would go on to reopen a lot of wounds for the families and for the dive industry as a whole in Queensland. The movie would feature an American couple who went on a scuba diver trip in shark-infested waters only to be abandoned, similar to Tom and Eileen.
Wait, I think I've seen that movie.
Probably. It was a big movie. Spoiler alert, which is pretty unnecessary considering this movie came out a long time ago, but don't come for me because I warned you. In case you want to watch it for some reason and you haven't already. The character Daniel in the movie would go on to be eaten by sharks, while character Susan would remove her scuba gear and go underwater to drown herself before the sharks can attack.
Me.
So that's kind of what I was referring to earlier when I said her wetsuit was found. Like she could have taken it off purposely to go do something maybe similar to like what the movie depicted. What's crazy is the ending made by the movie could very well be exactly what happened to Thomas and Eileen on their scuba trip. Although we may never know what exactly happened to this beautiful couple, in the end, the families hold no ill will towards Australia and have nothing but sympathy for skipper Jeffrey and think the decision to not prosecute him was the correct choice.
I can see where they're coming from. Can I also just say, too, before I forget, you said this takes place in Queensland?
Australia, yeah.
You know what's crazy about all these places that are named after Queen Elizabeth? Like, it is just insane to me how many places across the world are, like, named after her. Because remember the story I did with Alison Botha takes place in Port Elizabeth, which is named after Queen Elizabeth. It's just crazy. Colonization, man. Sorry, before I forget.
I love Britain. But yeah, so to this day, nothing extra is known about them. Their whereabouts are unknown. They still to this day have not been found, and nothing more has been given to understand what exactly led them to their death.
So the story that I thought you were talking about doing is also a scuba diving story, and I'm pretty sure it takes place by the Great Barrier Reef, so that's why I thought it was. But it's a married couple, and they're on their honeymoon, and the husband kills the wife for the insurance money.
Oh.
That's 100% the story I thought you were going to do.
No. I don't even know about that one, so maybe that's a future episode.
You sure you want to ask me for that?
I don't know. Is it like Alison Botha?
No.
Then yes. But yeah, this was such an interesting story, and I know it was a little bit quick. Oh, maybe not. Compared to like what my usual stories are, but I thought doing kind of missing persons case like this would be a nice little derailment from what I've been doing. So
missing persons cases really fuck me up.
Yeah, I feel like I might do more of them just because I like, as much as speculation could hurt, it's still
nice to get the story out there sometimes.
Yeah, and maybe speculation that we come up with or one of you might think of could be actually what happened and lead to something new. Maybe our audience could know something about the story that they don't. Yeah. So it could just lead to be beneficial and maybe to some new evidence, even though we're obviously not a big podcast, but you never know who it might. Yeah, yet. But you just never know who it might reach and what they may know. So it's always worth
They just make me I don't know the feeling that I would assign to how it makes me feel, but it makes me feel very uneasy, I guess, is if how you want to describe it. Just because no one ever just disappears. There's literally no way for you to just disappear. Like, obviously something had to have happened to you. And it's just so weird that, like, people can disappear and you can just have absolutely no idea what happened to them. Like, there's just so many ways it can go. And it's like, I don't know. I just hate that. I guess, like, again, me being a control freak, I like when things are tied up nicely in a bow at the end.
Yeah. It's just crazy at this point that all the people that I've... Because that's a popular diving spot. So all the people that have dove in that spot afterwards have not seen anything.
Imagine going scuba diving and finding a body.
No. After all this time, nothing else is washed up on shore. Like, where the... I feel like at this point, it might be safe to say some sort of creature, animal, whatever. Whether it was their initial death or just post-death, someone got them.
Kind of like Amelia Earhart.
What do you mean like Amelia Earhart?
She got eaten by crabs.
Huh? What did you say?
They're pretty sure that she didn't just disappear. She landed on an island that had these really big crabs. Like, they're like as big as Rue. They're huge. And they ate her. They ate her.
Huh?
We'll talk about it one day.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I don't know that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it one day.
Huh.
Yeah, it's... I mean, I don't know if it's recent, but I saw it within, like, the last, like, 2 years.
Well, I didn't keep up, so...
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a lot of stuff I don't know.
It'll be one of my conspiracies one day, maybe.
Okay, great. Love that. But anyways, I have to go pee, especially after our 32-ounce coffee that I chugged down.
I know, right?
So,
We got the same size, and yours was gone before mine was even like...
That's usually what happens, though.
I know, yeah.
With coffee, with ice cream, I just suck it all down. Professional sucker. So, with that, I'm going to go pee. We're going to take a break. We'll give you some ads that we don't have, like always, because that's our favorite thing to do.
Yep.
And then we'll come back, and it'll be Breana's turn to go over some conspiracy.
My turn.
Wait, it's conspiracy, right? Or am I wrong? Or is it
No,
true
it's paranormal.
Paranormal? Oh,
Yeah,
I'm a fucking
paranormal.
idiot. So, scratch that. Not conspiracy. Paranormal.
My turn.
My turn. Welcome back, Breana.
Hi.
How's it feel to be here?
Great.
That's good. So,
Now you're trying to cut me off. Fuck you.
it's my shtick.
Yeah, I fucking know.
So, unlike what I said before our ad break, because I'm an idiot, it's not conspiracy. It's paranormal time.
Heck yeah.
My turn.
My turn.
Anyways, the floor is yours.
Oh, you're trying to copy me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, again, I'm going to cite my sources. So, my source for this story is... I literally got it all from a BuzzFeed Unsolved video.
Ooh.
R.I.P.
Oh, yeah.
So, Paul,
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
I know you hate these, but...
Okay.
Do you know what the oldest settlement in American history is?
No.
Wrong.
Okay.
You were going to say an answer.
Not you trying to take my thing and cut me
know.
off. You can't even do it right, dummy.
Well, I really expected to give me a genuine answer. You're just like, I don't know. Well, the oldest settlement in American history is St. Augustine, Florida. Do you know anything about St. Augustine?
It's in Florida. Am I wrong? Are you going to sit here and tell me I'm wrong?
She wore a crown and she came down in a
bubble, bro.
dog.
Grow up.
Grow up. I'm going to stab him. So, my story today is going to be about the St. Augustine Lighthouse. So, St. Augustine, Florida was founded in 1565. Long time ago.
She an old bitch.
It was discovered by a Spanish explorer named Pedro Martinez de Alves. I think is how you pronounce it.
Alvarez?
I don't know. I went in there very confidently with the accent, but I actually don't know if that's proper.
A-L-V-R.
Aviles.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, wait a second.
Pedro.
It is considered the oldest continually inhabited settlement in the United States. It's older than Plymouth Rock. It's older than Roanoke. It's older than all that stuff.
Yo, fuck Plymouth Rock.
Yeah, fuck Plymouth Rock.
Fuck the Pilgrims.
Yeah. Fuck them.
I mean, granted, we probably wouldn't all be here if it wasn't for them, but still, fuck them.
So, the Spanish held the settlement against the British pirate Sir Francis Drake in 1586, a brutal British attack during Queen Anne's War in 1702, and then also yet another attack by the British in 1740. And side note, why the fuck, speaking of like the Queen from earlier, why can't they just mind their fucking business?
The British?
Yeah, that like I all of history is just like the British attack. Like
Because they were like the big dogs. It's just like the U.S.
I feel like their country...
It's just like the U.S. now, how the U.S. can't keep their nose out of everything. It was essentially just like the British.
Yeah,
the
look how that worked out for them.
As far as I know, the British aren't as strong as they used to be, because they used to be a superpower.
Yeah, they used to have settlements in like all around the New World. But my point is, they're like the size, I swear to God, of like, they're smaller, I feel like, than upstate New York.
England?
I think. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Regardless.
I don't know geometry.
I was like, what? Just stared at you. Jesus Christ. So anyway, St. Augustine was finally handed over to the British in 1763. When it got handed over finally, the boat HMS Industry, I don't know what HMS stands for, I didn't look that up. It was one of the first boats to sail into the new territory after it got handed over, and it sank in the waters below the lighthouse.
R.I.P. Just like the Titanic.
True.
Shout out episode 5.
Since we record 2 episodes a day, I always forget that all that didn't happen in the same episode. So I'm like, why are you shouting out this episode that we're recording? I'm like, oh, okay.
It's technically a different day. Come on.
I'm breaking the fourth wall here.
No.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
It's already broken.
No. We have to immerse our listener. Come with me and you'll see
It's funny.
World of pure imagination.
You sing in every single fucking episode, and every single fucking episode I leave it in.
Why do I sing in every episode?
I don't fucking know, but
I think I just know so much stupid shit that I just...
You break out a song every fucking episode.
I mean, I think last episode you broke into it first and I just joined.
What song did I sing last episode?
I don't remember. It was a day ago. Wink.
Not him gaslighting you. All right, anyway. So the St. Augustine Lighthouse has existed since 1586 before succumbing to eroding coastlines and falling into the ocean in 1880. The OG St. Augustine Lighthouse would be known as the, quote, earliest permanent age navigation in the continental USA. The new lighthouse, though, was completed in October 15th of 1874, and it was 500 yards from the original lighthouse location. Remember earlier when you were talking about nautical miles?
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I just remembered how I knew. This is why, because I had to look up nautical miles for this. So the new lighthouse light could be seen from 24 nautical miles away, which ends up being 27.6 regular miles. So that's how I knew what to do for it. And the same lens that was from the new old lighthouse from the 1800s is still in use today. So that was just a quick background, just so you know what we're talking about, where we are in the world, you know. Now we're going to get into the ghosties. So first, we're going to go to the keeper's basement. So in the keeper's basement, one keeper supposedly hanged himself not too long after the new lighthouse was completed. Volunteers and workers at the museum have claimed to see a man in a blue suit, quote, lurking in the shadows. I choked on that.
Choke on a lot of things.
The staff believe this man is Peter Russman, I think is how you pronounce his name. He was a lighthouse keeper from 1901 to 1924. And he was the longest keeper at the lighthouse, and he was described as an all-around cranky guy.
I was about to say, that was a long time, but also makes sense that he was cranky, because...
Yeah, in the BuzzFeed Unsolved thing, they basically say, when people go down to the keeper's basement, he just makes you feel very uncomfortable, and that's why they describe him as a cranky guy, because he just doesn't want you there, because he doesn't like people.
We hate Peter.
So, during the construction of the new lighthouse, it happened between 1871 and 1874, and it was overseen by, I'm going to butcher this name, Hezekiah H. Pete.
Pete.
That's his name. We're going to call him Pete.
We love Pete.
So on July 10th of 1873, two of Pete's children, Eliza and Mary, and an unknown girl decided to play on a supply cart by the construction site. The supply cart hit a gate and flipped over and threw the children right into the water. Pinning them under the cart. So a worker ran over to save them, but by the time he got there, it was too late.
Please help, I am under the water.
What?
You never saw those TikToks?
I have no idea what you just said.
Please help, I am under the water.
No,
You've never seen those TikToks? Oh, no.
Jesus Christ.
I'll show you.
Anyway.
They're kind of funny. It's just like a dad, and he has a water filter on, and he moves underneath it, and he's like, please help, I am under the water. Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
The worker ran over to save them, but it was too late. They drowned before they could be saved. The two little girls can still be heard playing hide and seek around the grounds. A woman reportedly saw a young girl in a red dress in the upstairs window of the keeper's house. The girl flipped her long hair over her shoulder and then vanished. Girl, why are you staring at me? She just flipped her hair and said, bitch, don't look at me. And then she disappeared.
Shit, you ain't gonna look at me no longer.
She said, peasant, and flipped her.
And I'm gone.
It was, when I was doing the notes, I literally wrote in here to make a joke about the hair flip because I thought it was so fucking funny. Could you imagine just looking at that, again, going back to me being a ghost, just be like, bitch, why are you looking at me?
If I got sassed by a ghost,
a child ghost done. At that.
I'd
child ghost at that. So, also in the keeper's house, workers have found children's footprints made of dirt, even though no children have been on the tours that day. Locks on the upstairs room reportedly lock and unlock themselves, as if a child is playing with the locks. In 1965, a guest rented the keeper's house, and he reported seeing a young girl in the hallway of the upstairs room he was sleeping in. I would be moving out. Just know that if that happened to me, I'd be moving out. She was reportedly wearing a long lace dress and stared at him with a blank expression before fading away. I would be leaving. I'd be packing my little thingy things. Gone.
I would just hide under the covers. Nothing can touch you if you're under the covers.
That's not true.
It is true.
Not at all.
Just like if your foot's hanging out, the monsters under your bed can get you. But if you're just nicely tucked in the blanket, no one can touch you.
I'm going to be really mean when I'm a mom because I'm 100% going to pretend like a monster got me under the bed. They're going to tell me to check for monsters. And I'm going to look under the bed and be like, ah!
You're just going to fucking fling yourself under and be like, where did mom go?
Yes.
And you just hear me from underneath, help!
I got to traumatize him a little bit, make him funny.
Jesus Christ. Then go to fucking therapy and be like, yeah, my mom traumatized me as a child.
I know. It's going to be bad. I can't actually do it, but it'd be funny if I did. Okay. So next we're going to be moving on to the parlor. So people have reported hearing coughing in the parlor, which staff at the lighthouse have assigned to a spirit named William Harn.
Let me guess, he smoked cigarettes.
He did, actually. So William was one of the first keepers of the lighthouse. And he was also the first keeper to die in the lighthouse, which I feel like is very obvious. If he's one of the first keepers, you know.
Well, do they stay there until...
A lot of them do, yeah.
Until they die?
Some of them. It depends if they get another job or not. But basically, like, you become a keeper, you live in and around the lighthouse because you're the keeper of the lighthouse. Yeah. And then when you are no longer able to work or you get a new job, they just replace you.
They gotta pay well if people just willingly are just like, oh, let me stay here.
Well, I feel like, I don't know, it depends.
Unless it's just like they need a place
because you get like room and board and all that kind of stuff. So the only thing you're really paying for is like your necessities, I guess.
True. So I guess unless they really just want to get away or need some place to stay, they're like, oh, I just be a lighthouse keeper.
Yeah. Well, he died from his battle with malaria and tuberculosis.
Damn.
Do you know what malaria is before? Do you want me to go into that?
Yeah. Well, like, yes, I know. You don't have to necessarily go into it.
So at this time in the BuzzFeed Unsolved episode, Ryan and Shane got an EVP of a disemboweled cough in the parlor room.
Oh, wait. So they went there?
Yeah. Oh. The whole video, yeah. They were there. They were investigating it.
Oh, I thought they were just talking about it.
Yeah. If you guys want to check that out, we can always link that maybe in the description of this episode so you guys can go take a look at that. But they got a lot of EVPs during this episode of it.
See, now them, I trust them.
You trust them?
I trust them. I don't trust Ghost Adventurers. I don't trust any of that. But
I think it's because Ryan is the one that's like, oh, there's definitely ghosts. And then Shane is the one who's like...
I know one of them is like a super skeptic.
Yeah, I think it's Shane. So, anyway, going back. So they get the EVP and then they do a thing and Ryan believes that this is William coughing. So next we're going to be going up to the observation deck. One spirit can be seen passing on the observation deck going back and forth, which is 219 stairs up and 165 feet in the sky.
Jesus.
So really fucking high.
No, thank you. I don't have a fear of heights, but ugh.
I have a fear of heights. In December of 1859, 60-year-old Joseph Andrew, actually, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. It's really Andrew's name, but instead of a W, it's a U.
Huh.
So that's
wait, huh?
Andrew's name?
Yeah.
How it has a W at the end? Replace that with a U. Would that still be pronounced Andrew?
With a U? Well, yeah, because...
Or Andre, I guess.
And what? Yeah,
they are Hispanic. It is a Hispanic name.
Andro? Maybe Andro? I don't know.
We'll say that.
Close enough.
Joseph Andro. He was the keeper of the original lighthouse. He fell to his death while whitewashing the outside of the tower.
Oh.
Whitewashing, because I did not know what that means, is basically just a mixture put on the outside of the tower to help prevent the wear and tear from the ocean water, because it could be very erosive. The scaffold suddenly gave way and he fell and it killed him instantly.
Oh.
So his wife, Maria, took over as the keeper on January 17th of 1860. So he died in December and his wife took over literally a month later in January. She ended up becoming the first official female lighthouse keeper in the United States and the first Hispanic American woman to control a federal shoreline installation. So go off,
Good
queen.
For her.
Go off.
But wait a minute. So this man was a lighthouse keeper but had a family? So does he get to see them?
They live there.
Oh, so all of them
I'm pretty
there.
sure, yeah. I'm pretty sure they live
there. Okay. I thought it was just him.
No.
And I'm like, what the fuck happens to his family?
No, I'm pretty sure they get to live there with him.
Gotcha.
Honestly, I don't know, but that's what I'm assuming. So the Coast Guard also honors her as the first female employee and the first Hispanic employee of the Coast Guard, which is really cool. The reason we're talking about Maria is because, according to the workers there, she also can be seen at the top of the lighthouse in her white dress with her long brown hair down. So apparently, to go up to the lighthouse, there's this locked door, and it has a key with a lock on it, and then also has a security sensor. So when it opens, like it senses that it opens. So if the alarm is set and the door opens, the alarm is going to go off. Numerous times, employees have come in the morning and the door is unlocked and open, and the alarm did not go off, even though the alarm was set that night. So it's speculation that Maria is unlocking it to go up and do her job as a lighthouse keeper. And so the alarm company has found no explanations for why this happens, and it's like assumed to be a residual haunting.
Which would make sense at that point.
And then I have another note here that during the BuzzFeed Unsolved episode, it was kind of like their solo thing at the end, where they have you ever watched BuzzFeed Unsolved?
Yeah.
They go off and do their own investigation solo. So Ryan again is in the tower, and he got numerous EVPs about like asking about how they died, and they were answering them correctly, and they were pretty good EVPs. If you want, I can show them to you once we're done. But again, I recommend checking out the BuzzFeed Unsolved episode. But St. Augustine Lighthouse is still in use today and is actually a museum, and they do paranormal tours.
Ooh.
So I will definitely be adding that on my list of things to do the next time I go to Florida. Because I go there, not a lot, but I've gone there twice in the last year, so.
Let's just go together.
Yeah.
I would go.
I think it's not that far from Jacksonville, so it's kind of like at the top of Florida.
Wow.
But it's on the coast.
Well, we can always make a long weekend trip.
Yeah.
Gives us an excuse to go to Florida.
But that's all I have to say. That was very fast. It was just a lot of ghosty ghosts. A lot of facts, a lot of ghosty ghosts.
I love that. We did back-to-back paranormal cases that are pretty similar. Just like one place, a lot of ghosts, instead of focusing on... Because the first paranormal you did was Slender Man. My first paranormal was The Conjuring. I
was going to do another, being, I guess. I was thinking about doing, the Mothman. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, I don't want to do back-to-back, beings. Yeah, I want to do something that focused on, actual paranormal, ghost stuff.
Yeah, do something a little different. Why not?
Yeah. The only thing
Keep
I kind of...
exciting.
The only thing I kind of hate about paranormal ghost things is it's just, I feel like I'm just, facts, throwing facts at you and that's it.
Like what you just did?
Yeah,
or
just,
Well, yeah, that's how I felt. I was just like, oh, yeah, this is this encounter, and this encounter, and this encounter.
Yeah. And then it's like...
And that's it.
But for the Slender Man, it's like, oh, wait, what, really? I don't know. It's, yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because there's a lot more lore and pieces that connect, I guess, if you will.
This is kind of just where it's and this happens, and this happens, and then this happens, and also this happens.
Yeah, it's just first-party encounters as opposed to background in the lore that's made up purposely for the story.
But with that being said, I know you don't believe in ghosts, but how do you feel about that?
Again, I don't...
I want to show you the EVPs. When we're done recording, I'm going to show you.
Okay. How long is the episode? Is it long?
I think it's 30 minutes. It's just like a regular BuzzFeed Unsolved episode.
I'm not opposed to watching it. But anyways, I don't know, man. The ghost is such a complicated topic for me, and I know I keep talking about this, but I'm so infatuated with the idea, but it's just... I don't know. It's just one of those I have to see it to believe it sort of thing. So hearing about it, I'm just like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And damn, I don't understand the alarm thing. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, what if it's just electrical failure and all this other stuff? And
for that though, the alarm company, they looked into it and they could not find the answer for it. So it's not something that could be detected. So electrical stuff could be detected.
I guess.
Because then there would be some kind of record though if the power went out. Because then everything would have shut off. But nothing shut off. All the power was on. That alarm just did not. That alarm just did not go off.
Faulty things within the system that they don't know about.
I'm pretty sure they've changed the sensor though. They've done, and it still does it.
I mean, again, there is a lot of things that happen that's very unexplained, and it's very hard to explain. I mean, similar to this.
I feel like sometimes trying to explain paranormal stuff to you is just talking to a brick wall. Because you're just like, yeah, but, and then you just.
I just try to find the realistic thing. I mean, for me, there was one, I guess, if you want to call it paranormal quote unquote experience that I had, and it was we were in the middle of doing the carpet in my parents' basement, and in the corner we had an electric fireplace, and my brother and I were downstairs just watching TV, just hanging out. I don't remember the reason why, but whatever. And all of a sudden the electric fireplace just turned itself on. And so I was just like, oh, I must be sitting on the remote. I wasn't sitting on it. My brother wasn't sitting on it. Neither of us were messing with it because there was a remote box that we had that was on the thing next to us, and that was shut and everything. There were remotes in it, and that remote was one of the remotes that was in that box. So it's like none of us casually reached in the box and was fucking with it. We had to search for it.
It was a ghost. It was a spooky ghost.
So I guess that's the closest thing that I've had for an encounter of a ghost. And then my family talks about different things they've heard about in our house too, but I'm just... It still isn't enough to convince. I haven't had a what the fuck moment with ghost yet, and I feel like that's what it's going to take for me to actually be like, okay, I'm on board.
I feel like once though you have your what the fuck moment, you're still going to rationalize it.
I mean, if I'm seeing a fucking apparition at the end of a hallway and I go down there and it's just a closet or something.
I think though you're going to be like, oh, my mind just playing tricks on me. I'm tired. Blah, blah, blah. I don't think you're going to believe it.
If it's a straight on shot and it's not out of my peripherals, because I've seen shit in my peripherals that I know isn't actually, it's just, my eyes fucking with me. Mm-hmm. But if I'm looking dead on and I see something and I blink and rub my eyes and it's still there,
well, usually when you blink, it goes away.
Depends on the haunt.
So you do believe?
No, I'm just saying. Because of stories. I've heard enough. Trust me, I've heard more than enough stories.
Well, that's it.
And I'd ask you, but I know you believe in ghosts and all that.
Yeah.
So
I have a few stories, but I won't get into those.
Why not?
I'll save them for the listeners' episode. I'll throw mine in there.
Fine. Shameless plug of if you have your own stories, email us at isntthatoddpod@gmail.com. And we hope to have a whole episode of listener stories I mean, our own stories at this point, except that was my only story, so you got a taste of that already. And then you can hear our comments about it, and we can talk about it and figure that out. Or if you have a recommendation on just any other popular story.
True crime, paranormal, conspiracy.
That you want us to talk about. I expected you to finish that.
No, you just like paused, so I was like, is he not going to say the topics?
Yeah, if you have one of those topics that you want us to talk about, you can find it. You can find the Google Doc in our link tree that's going to be linked in our Instagram bio or the episode details. And you can share that with us.
Heck yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Because you're just like...
I'm all over the place.
I know.
I'm just fucking up the whole spiel, okay? I'm not even letting you talk. But other than that, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
You literally never let me talk. You always interrupt me.
Do you want to do the Instagram one?
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at isntthatoddpod, and we'll be posting the pictures and all that kind of stuff for this episode, so you can see the visuals for the things we're talking about. And you can find our podcast on anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music. We also are on YouTube now, and that's it. Yeah, look at that. I did it good. Did I leave anything out?
You were so confident. Like, oh, wait, did I do it correctly?
I was like, wait, did I leave anything out?
No, you got it perfectly. Good job.
Yeah, I did it good.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, suddenly I don't like this, so I'm running away. And I quit. Just like I said earlier. I'm done. That's it. No more. Don't look for episode 7. It's never coming out.
So we'll see you next week for episode 7. Bye.
Bye.